Bitcoin things. So we just entered for a long position on Bitcoin. So what happened was that price has pretty much came down to some form of institutional demand zone, sub liquidity, all that juicy liquidity, and then right now we are pumping to the upside. Let me just give you like a more detailed analysis. All right. So if you look at the higher time frame itself, what we have was that price came down, liquidating all the retail traders. So this is where the news was telling that, oh, Bitcoin is gonna go to $0, Bitcoin is a scam. So this is where the news is just trying to induce fear in the market, while institutions, the smart money, the hedge funds, they're just quietly accumulating. Okay, so they're accumulating right here, just stacking up their positions, and then boom, we got a breakout, and then right now prices came down and swept some good old retail trader stop losses again and again, right? A lot of stop orders right here. So you can see lots of lows right here, right? Lots of lows here, which also means there's a lot of good old juicy available liquidity. As juicy as a medium rare steak, okay? So right now, since prices came down, so all that liquidity, we got price pushing up, creating like a sharp V-shaped reaction just like this. So this automatically becomes our institutional demand zone, which also means that this is the first time, or rather like this is the first time recently that institutions actually start looking for longs, right? They start, entering for longs and causing price to break to the upside. So this also means that right here, price went up, pull back to this previous supply, that broke structural, wanted to continue going downhill, but right now I'm betting on the fact that there is insufficient supply, because at this price point, demand is going to overpower supply since there's a lot of institutional long positions right here. And we're going to get like a failed reaction, right? We're going to see price create like a higher low right here. Later on, price come up there, take out this high here, creating like a market shift. And that caused the entire price of Bitcoin to start going back up to the 111 level. And then perhaps it can consolidation, it can trend up. I don't care, because this is more of like a short-term trade itself. So in this particular case, to make my entry even more precise, sniper-like precision, to trade like a sniper, you have to first act like a sniper. So what I did was that I waited very, very patiently, super patiently, right? Like Warren Buffett level of patient, for price to come back, right, to this demand zone that we've marked up right here. Let me just show you on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so you can see this is the level of preparation it goes into catching one good trade, right? So pretty much price started going up and mitigating like this supply that we have over here. Perhaps, wanted to create a lower high, but if there was sufficient supply, what price will do is that it will come down and take out this low. Okay, there's still a chance that might happen, right? I'm not going to eliminate the fact that price might still be bearish and still going down even further. There's always a chance if there is sufficient supply. But once again, I'm betting on the fact that price is going to shift bullish. So in order to stack the odds in my favor and ensure that, chance is on my side, lady luck is on my side, wait for price to make this bearish pullback right here. Okay, pullback to where? This demand zone that we have marked up right here. This is a demand zone, and it's also a flip zone that caused price to broke structure, right? It caused price to actually broke this last fractal lower high that we have right here. Now, this also means that price is going to be gravitating towards that demand zone, right? Because like it's either this demand zone or the extreme demand zone, right? It's either one. And since price went down to the extreme demand zone, it decided to start reversing at like this near zone right here after it swept liquidity, right? So what happens is that price came down here, swept some good old liquidity from this low that we have right here, that nice little low here. And after that liquidity has been swept, after prices mitigate this zone, this is where I still waited. All right, so still no entry right here. Wanted to wait for extra confirmation, because at this point of time, price could just do this, create like a lower high right here and then starts crashing down. So in order for me to get extra confirmation, I wanted to wait for price to take out at least some form of fractal structure to give me some signal that the internal structure is shifting bullish. So what happens is that price went down here, comes up, broke structure, creating like fractal market shift, and now it's just a matter of waiting for price to pull back to the refined 1 minute, the 5 minute demand zone that swept liquidity right here, and then waited for price to mitigate the zone, and then we made our entry there. That's it, right? That's it. You can see the level of preparation that goes into this trade is absolutely insane. So it better go out, okay? It better go out. There's no way that it's gonna start crashing down. But like I said, let's not eliminate the possibility that price could still be bearish. This is a super duper aggressive scalp. At the point of time right now, we could just continue bearish because of the fact that the internal structure is technically still bearish until this high gets taken out right here. So that is why I am still quite, pessimistic and quite passive in terms of the way that I place my take profit. I'm just targeting this high over here. Okay, because like I said, internal is still bearish. And until this high gets taken out, we are technically still in a bearish trend right here. So this is probably me just trying to play like the pullback to like this previous supply right here, create like a lower high before price continue down even further. All right, so that's pretty much why I place my take profit right there. You always want to make sure that you be pessimistic in terms of your trade outcome and be optimistic in a trade ideal, right? So this is me trusting my trade ideal, just having boss deep conviction in it while still being flexible, while still having the capacity to adapt to the ever-changing market condition, right? And just the humility to accept the fact that I could be wrong and anything can happen at any point of time. All right, so yeah. Enter right there, place my stop loss below this low right here, pretty decent stop loss. And yeah, now it's just a time of set and forget. POV, you are a retail trader. Oh my god, we're down 11k right now, man. I'm gonna get liquidated. I'm gonna get margin caught, bro. What should I do, man? What should I do? Should I go and cry? Or should I go and fry burgers at McDonald's now, man? I just bet my life savings on this freaking crypto trade, the 100x leverage, and now price is going to get... Bruh, shut up, bruh. Shut your noob ass up. Just breathe. Okay, pause and breathe. You have taken so much time to do the preparation, to do the analysis, to do the research. Now it's time to trust your trade ideal. Okay, now it's time to just let the trade run, do its thing. You get stopped out, it is what it is. I mean, you're stupid for risking your life savings, but like, for me, if I get stopped out, guess what? It's just 1% of my capital. So it's like, yo, it's all about how much you risk, guys. This is what I call the sleeping rule. If you can't leave the position open before you go to sleep, right? Like you have the tendency to wake up in the middle of night to find out how your trade is doing, or like to check whether price is going up or you're in a drawdown, then my friend, you're using a position that is way too big for your account. So that's why I call the sleeping rule, right? So whenever you enter into the trade, ask yourself, can I hold this trade before I sleep? Can I hold this trade overnight without getting, anxious, right? Without panicking, without getting frantic, without waking up and checking my P&L in the morning? If the answer is no, then go and reduce your lot size, reduce your position size, right? Trade with like a smaller size, okay? Because like I said, risk management is a love letter to your future self. And you are the only one responsible for delivering it. That's it. Chef kiss, baby. Man, I just finished all my meetings and I saw that we got stopped out on the trade for Bitcoin. It is what it is, bro. And the thing is that we got stopped out so early, like literally right after we entered for the trade. I think the price just went us to stop us out, and then before price actually pushed to the upside, and then found out that there was insufficient demand in price, right? There's not enough liquidity, and then price continued collapsing. Like I said, I was pretty much wrong about the trend direction, or rather I was wrong about the timing, right? So there was a lot of like things that went wrong with this trade itself. And once again, I'm just going to be using this as like a lesson to grow, right? Like I'm not even mad, I'm tired, yes. I just lost an NQ trade and now I'm down on Bitcoin as well. I'm mentally drained, I'm starting to think that maybe my lucky streak is over. I've literally just made 100k, just been smashing it in the markets in October. And then right now, November is like the month where the market just whooping my ass. Maybe it's the time to like just sit down, be humble, recalibrate, and stop trading, because honestly, I really feel burnout, man. Like I've just been showing up to the charts every single day. I think at this point of time, I'm getting a little bit of analysis paralysis. And I'm also starting to feel like I'm over trading a bit, because I'm used to like just taking one good high quality trade every single week. But now I just feel like I'm trading for the sake of trading. Like I'm trading to impress you guys. I'm trading to ensure that, you know, I'm consistent on this YouTube channel instead of actually prioritizing and preserving my capital. It's like that's the most stupid idea to trade, like trading to impress people, trading to prove something to somebody. So yeah, man, this is a big fat L on my end. This entry right here, I thought that this was like the final run of liquidity, to be honest with you, right? But price, there was insufficient liquidity. Bitcoin, super duper volatile, came down, swept the liquidity below this low right here. And I became the liquidity for like the first time in so freaking long before price actually went up there. And then eventually it mitigated this supply right here. And then there was insufficient demand, like I mentioned earlier, and the price started collapsing back down. So yeah, right now the overall trend is still heavily bearish. Internal structure is actually bearish. So me trying to enter for longs right here could be a little bit premature. I was honestly like just assuming that price is going to go up right now. I was assuming that, you know what, this is quite cheap, right? After all, price has literally just collapsed from 111-ish level. But the thing I fail to understand is value is objective and price is subjective, which means that I might sit here and think that, oh, this is a discount, right? Because price is so cheap after all, it has collapsed so much. But discounts in the financial markets does not work the same as discounts in the supermarket. I might sit here and think that, okay, price is cheap, so I'm going to enter for a buy. But the market disagrees with me. As a result, price continue dumping. And this is what I mean when I say that when price collapse, it can go down even lower. Okay, so do not impose your will onto the market, right? Do not bend the market to your will and just accept the objective reality for it is, right? So the moment I got stopped out right here, I wasn't like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna like enter for another long position right here. No, I took the ass whopping, I took the L, I look at the objective reality of the market, I detach from the trade outcome, and I just reevaluate the situation, and I found out that price is still indeed bearish. Because if price wanted to shift bullish, it has to like take out at least this lower high right here. Then we got sufficient momentum, sufficient buying pressure, and then can potentially shift bullish. But once again, insufficient buying momentum, and price just continue collapsing. It's funny because the last NQL was us trying to long when the market is still bearish. Maybe it's a sign that I need to like start to adapt to the market condition better, because like I'm still attached to my trade idea from like weeks ago, you know, still thinking that the stock market is going to continue going up, crypto market is going to continue going up. But when in reality, the market conditions have changed. And if I don't adapt it to it, I'm going to keep on taking L's just like this. So yeah, man, I'm just going to take a break, man. I'm going to be off from the market for like at least 1 week. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to get locked in again, monk mode again, and then we'll get it again. All right. It is what it is. Time to go and reflect on my L. Good night, boys.